All right, if you come on YouTube to get news, be careful because many of these people are making stuff up to get views. So one guy that's making a lot of stories about the T Grizzley case and keeps reiterating how he's talking to people in the court and he knows people that are part of the case, is giving some bad info. So he said Jermaine Weeden, possibly known as 600 Wu-Tang, has made the statement that T Grizzley paid him to do the hit. That's not true. We know that there's been a rumor, or that's a rumor, but that has not been introduced into court, as there's been no court proceedings since Friday. So there's been a break. Today's Wednesday. There's no court today. I'm not sure if it'll be tomorrow. There was some problem with one of the jurors. What exactly that is, I don't know. But there has been no court. The trial has been on break. Again, Mr. Weeden is out on bail, so that certainly points to not the strongest case in the world. YNW Melly has been kept in custody. Boy, he's been in jail like 6 years on his case. So if this was a slam dunk first degree murder, he'd probably be in custody. So there has been no official on the record allegation by anybody that T Grizzley paid him. To recap, if you're not hip, back in 2019, Jabina, the aunt and manager of T Grizzley, was sitting in a car. She was with T, and from what I'm told, just like an Uber driver. They're in a Chrysler 300. They stop at a house on the east side of Detroit. They're sitting in a car in this bad neighborhood. They stop in this random area. It's not a commercial area. T goes to a house that's supposedly some other relative's house. He begs, or not beg, but asks JB to come inside the house with him because it's not safe. But she doesn't want to come, so he goes in the house. Gunman runs up, opens the side of the door where T had been sitting, puts 8 into Jabina Brown. So-called new information from this podcaster was that the phone records of Jermaine Weeden show that he was sitting at the location for like 90 minutes before the homicide occurred. From what I'm told, that has not been entered into the official court record, though it may be. So that is some information out. The battle over what evidence goes into to the official record, of course, is very important in a case. And you might think, well, why wouldn't they get put in? Well, remember, saying that a particular phone, oh, well, this is his phone, just because you have a phone that was at the location. Think about the OJ trial or any trial. Like, who says that's his phone? So I don't know what grounds they're disputing that it was his phone, but that's not part of the court record. And as far as Jermaine Weeden saying that T Grizzley hired him or anybody else, that's not true. People putting up things about there's a RICO for T Grizzley. I mean, anything could happen. It's not necessarily imminent. Remember, all this is a rumor, and it could just be, who knows what goes on with stuff. That's why they have trials. So there has been no one officially accusing T Grizzley of paying for any hit. And T Grizzley, though, definitely comes from a dysfunctional background, unfortunately. His mother, right when he got popular, I think she got out of prison for serving a long prison term. Here's her in the prison with her crew of women. I don't, this could have been just a staged photo to get attention on social media, or maybe she really was a big shot in there. I don't know. Grizzly's brother, Baby Grizzly, unfortunately, he got released at the height of T's popularity, and I don't think he lasted a couple weeks. He got caught with a gun. So he's been back in prison. Grizzly and NBA Youngboys entourages has some type of shootout down in Miami at Rolling Loud, and there was an innocent bystander killed. I think NBA Youngboy that might be one of his cases, something to do with that. I'm not sure. But yeah, there's been no new developments since Friday. The case is on a break because of a problem with a juror. And there's often problems with jurors, especially as cases drag on. And I could tell you in Detroit, which is now down to not being that big of a damn city, the chances that there could be somebody on a jury who somehow is personally connected to the victim or a witness is high, just from statistical likelihood, because Detroit has become a medium-sized city as opposed to a big city. But I don't know what. It could be a juror did something inappropriate. Like on the Diddy trial, they dismissed a juror right near the end, one of the actual jurors, and they had to replace him with a replacement, because they always have replacement jurors, because you're assigned to a jury based on where you live, and if you gave maybe outdated or purposely wrong information about where you live, and then it comes out later, then you're not deemed that you weren't really eligible for that jury pool in the first place, then you'll get removed. So don't know if that's what happened in this case, but there's been nothing happening in the T Grizzley trial for the last couple of days. Nobody has put it into the court record that T Grizzley paid anybody to do anything. YouTube is not a news source. I mean, you can trust some people. I don't make stuff up, but it's all about views. And at least in a real news thing, like with this Trump and this Epstein, Trump signing this letter to Epstein for his birthday, well, the Wall Street Journal has fact checkers. They double check it. They call people. I've been interviewed by major news publications, and I've told them my educational background and all that, and then they call like, we can't find anyone under your name, and I have to explain, well, Al Prophet's not my legal name, and then you're telling me your real name, and they double check all the things you've said to make sure you're not lying. But people aren't doing that on YouTube. They're just going with whatever gets the views. So just know that you're getting entertainment, not news. But as we saw with the Big U case, stuff that's said on the internet, as if it's true, may end up coming back to haunt somebody else. So a rumor made up by someone to get views or to get themselves views could come back to be evidence against someone else. So it's a tricky time we live in. People could make up things about you to get views, which could be used as evidence against you in a case. That's pretty scary, Kafka-esque. Never heard that term. It means it's like something out of a Franz Kafka novel, Kafka. It's your reading assignment for today. Read a little Franz Kafka, The Trial, a 20th century classic, spooky book. Franz Kafka descended into madness himself, but his writing presaged the rise of fascism. In The Trial, the lead character, Joseph K., who is simply a clerk at a big company. What his job is never really explained, because he doesn't really know. The company's so large, he just types up something and hands it to someone else. But Joseph K. is arrested and taken to court, but it's never explained to him what he's even charged with. And he keeps going to different courtrooms, and they send him to a different room, and they say that the charges against you are very serious, but they never tell him what they are. And, well, it's whenever you feel like something's happening, like you're talking to one of these stupid bots on customer service, and press 1 for this, press 2 for that, and what you want to ask doesn't apply to any of them, so you press something else, and it sends you somewhere, and they have you going in a circle, and there's no way out, and it makes no sense. That's Kafkaesque. So How would you like someone to start a rumor about you and it gets used as evidence and it's not even true? But so no new developments in the T Grizzley case. Trial has been on hold due to a problem with the juror. Jermaine Weeden having a phone that was at the location for 90 minutes may or may not be true. That's not, I don't think, in the official record. And 600 Wu-Tang, if that's even who Jermaine Weeden is or anybody else, is not in court, made the statement that T Grizzley hired him. So there's your update. I'll Profit American Dope.